your martial arts movie podcast.
I threw that shit before I walked in the room.
Featuring drunken Thai boxer Will.
Too bad you will die.
The also drunken wrestler Mark.
I said I don't want trouble.
And drunken karate master Zero.
You've lost your balls.
And now,
Call. I know Kung Fu.
You know, baby.
Fists of Fail.
I don't know. Am I crazy? I don't think I like this movie. Am I crazy?
That's okay.
I was very bored with it both
interesting.
times watching it.
I was actually very engaged watching it. Actually,
Really?
yeah. I thought the pacing was excellent until the end, where it kind of slows down a bit.
Huh. I think this is going to be the most polarizing movie review we've done because I found this movie incredibly unengaging. Yeah, we're talking about The Brink. I realized that we stopped doing title drops in the beginning of our episodes, so we should actually explain what movie we're talking about before we actually go into further detail. Yeah, The Brink. It is a movie by Jonathan Lee, who has done one other movie, but I guess this is his first directing role. Yep. Yeah, and it has Max Zhang in it, starring in the titular role. And I just realized that we haven't talked about him in quite some time. He's usually either playing the villain
SPL2.
or... Oh, yeah. No, but it goes with my second statement, which is he's usually playing the villain. Or, yeah, like whenever he is playing
a goofy cop, like an Invincible Dragon.
Oh, Invincible Dragon. Oh, my God. Yeah. Jeez, I forgot about that amazing film. Let's fly. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you just remembered it. So The Brink. I'm going to get the story out of the way as soon as I can, because you're going to have to fill in some of the gaps, because my understanding of the story is kind of all over the place, because I actually had some difficulty following the movie. From what I gather, the film is about a reckless cop who just comes out of prison. That really doesn't matter at all that that's the case. And he is trying to catch... some...
Sean Yue.
Is it even explained right away? I don't know. Whatever. So, he's trying to catch Sean Yue, who is the adopted son of some sort of major... he's like a black market gold seller, I guess.
Like smuggler, probably.
Smuggler is a better way to explain it. But that doesn't even matter, because what really is just Max Zhang is trying to catch Sean Yue, and meanwhile a partner of his, played by Wu Yue, is also in the film, and I guess I won't explain anymore, but because that obviously goes into spoiler territory. But he gets involved in this when he has one day left to retirement, as all these police procedural movies do. And then that's really it. This is the wettest film I've ever seen.
I love it. I love that this movie takes place almost entirely in some sort of wet, damp, soaked environment. It's different. It's a very, very different kind of martial arts film. And It is so overcast. This movie is like Seattle, right? There's just almost no sun. It is so dour in its look. But I kind of love when they do have color in it. It has this sort of like neon noir look when it has the heavy, harsh colors against like the blacks, and it's very distinct in its look. So I was kind of appreciating it for that aspect.
Interesting. Man, you and I are really gonna differ on a lot of these opinions, because I actually found the visuals really distracting. I mean, not to say like that doesn't just speak to the action itself, which I was very thoroughly like reminded why people don't fight scenes in the rain in massive torrential rain, where it's like it is so hard to make out what's going on. But I mean,
we can get into that.
See what
later,
they're trying to go for here. Yeah. But very harsh, like not inconsistent, but the color correction in the movie can be kind of like really drastic at times. It's kind of crazy how harsh these these colors can be, and that's not a major complaint at all. I think in terms of visuals, I think I took note of that and saw it more as a negative than a positive.
Right. Yeah, I like that sort of heavy black and vibrant neon look sometimes. Like John Wick obviously is known for it. I was recently re-looking at Furies, and that kind of has a similar look as well. So I kind of like what they're doing here. And so what was I going to say? So overall, though, I want to just go back to the story, though.
Sure.
Because it's so simple. Everything you explained is correct, but there are certain things that I feel they're really, really inferring on, or they're really tiny details that I didn't get the first time, and even the second time I was trying to understand, like, okay, what is it with this movie and water, right? Water is like a really, really, really heavy theme. And then I started to realize that in the beginning of the movie, all the villains are praying to, I believe, a water goddess, right?
Sea goddess.
Yeah, sea goddess. And so Sean Yue, he's very religious, I'm guessing, because he wears this sort of amulet around his neck. And I kind of feel like that's what's kind of giving him this sort of power or this sort of protection when it comes to anything involved with the water. Because I don't want to spoil it now, but actually that will come into play like much later, like the idea behind religion. And then I was thinking, like, okay, like, sure, like that's a stretch. Someone is powered up because of religion or because of their devotion to religion. But then I noticed that Max Zhang has a tattoo on his upper shoulder. And
upper left shoulder,
and I think that's supposed to be a tattoo of the sea goddess as well.
The sea goddess? Really?
Or
is that what that... actually that puts one scene into perspective, because I guess I can talk about this. Shan Yue like rips open the shirt. He sees the tattoo and he says, like, you and I are very alike. I guess that makes sense now.
Yeah,
But I guess it didn't click when I was watching it both times.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. So they are both kind of worshiping or in some sort of, like alignment with their religion. And I started to think, like, okay, Max Zhang is really not affected by water at all. You'll notice, like, the whole movie, it like almost doesn't faze him, where other people, like, it is detrimental, it is killing. And I was wondering, like, is it because the idea that he got the tattoo shows his devotion is stronger?
Is that even the case? Because later there's parts of water's still a major threat to these characters.
No, I mean Max Zhang specifically. Like, he almost seems kind of powered up from it, like, in the end. Like, we can go into that in the spoiler section, but like, if you kind of think about it in that aspect, like, he doesn't have like a handicap from water as much as like everybody else does.
Well, because he has plot armor.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They wrote it in so that his devotion to the sea goddess is so, I don't know if I would say extreme. Like, he's so devoted that he is protected, while everybody else, it kind of falters because of their devotion.
Okay, sure. I can buy that.
I'm thinking.
But does that
I'm thinking
count for
very
him being...
deep into it, because like I was like trying to find like these connections, because I just couldn't think of anything. And then I noticed the praying to the goddess, and then I noticed his tattoo, and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of making sense. It's so loose, but I think it's there just like a little bit.
Okay. So does praying to this goddess make you a borderline irresponsible cop?
Yes.
He is.
Oh my god.
He is horrible. He is, like, we've been talking about terrible cops a lot. I mean, that might be topical because the environment we're in these days, but man, he is awful. He is just the worst. He doesn't go against, he's always going against protocol, and which is typical for action movies like this, but it doesn't even make any sense what he's trying to do sometimes. It's like, that is just straight up reckless. I mean, yeah, that's the whole point. He's a reckless cop, but he's just like doing things without any sort of game plan. And he's like out for blood. I'm like, that's not what cops are for.
I completely agree with you, and I kind of like that he's just so
ridiculous,
over the top and reckless. He is like a dog with a bone and just can't let it go. I am glad that he is not some sort of sexual deviant, because he does not know how to say no. He does not take no for an answer, and once he has an idea, he just like will not stop. One of my favorite scenes is when he goes to visit his partner, played by Woo Yue, and Woo Yue doesn't want to let him in because he has a girl over, and Max Chang's like, no, we're gonna drink, and he keeps on pestering him. He's like, no, let's drink. He's like, oh, you have a girl over? Take a break. It's okay. We're gonna drink. And I'm just like, dude, you need to take a hint. Like, he doesn't want you there.
Yeah, and he guilt trips his friend. He's like, all right, fine, I guess I'll just leave. Have fun shagging that lady instead of hanging out with the bro. And it's like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to choose that. His character is just so hard to get behind. I only believe it because I kind of have to. You're following this main character, and yeah, but like the entire time I'm just thinking, like, he's such a dick, and I think they try to like give him more of like a redemption at the end.
Yeah, I
can't really tell what they try to do with his character, because there's a big reveal at the very end of the movie, and it feels like for me at least, it feels like it happened so suddenly when in regards to his character shift. Like, he's suddenly less of a out for blood kind of character and is more like, I need to save so and so. That's as much as I can reveal without revealing everything in the movie. Sure. But man, like up to that point, I'm like, this character doesn't make any sense to me because he's so like wild and I keep saying the word reckless, but that's exactly what he is.
I kind of like that. He's very typical of a hard-boiled cop, and that's it, really. Like, that's his character. They try to give him some sort of balance by having an adopted daughter, so he feels guilt because he killed this girl's father, who was involved in drugs or crime or whatnot, and he was being her legal guardian because of that guilt. And so anytime she's in the movie, you'll notice it's just not raining anymore. It's not as overcast. It's supposed to be like that's his only link to a better life, really.
Oh, man, you really are reading into this.
Oh, yeah.
Reading into this. I did not get that at all. But yeah, sure. I can understand that for sure. Yeah, like because if we didn't have that character, then our protagonist would just seem like completely. God, I want to stop using the word reckless, but yeah, like
he would be like, too realistic of a cop.
Oh yeah, yeah, even better. Yeah, we're a comedy and politics podcast now. Yeah, but aside from that, like the only other character I really, we were latched onto is the villain played by Sean Yue, and his character I understood even less because it seems like the movie's trying to set him up as some sort of sympathetic villain, right? At least at first. Then as the movie went on, I felt less of that.
Yes.
He didn't feel as complex. What's up?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I agree with you. It seems like they were setting him up for something, because what ends up happening is his boss leaves the company to his son instead of him. And he's obviously very salty about that, and,
Yeah.
starts a coup against the son. And after that, basically there's just no character. He does not emote at all, and he just has this 40-yard stare, 100-mile stare, where he's just there's just no reaction to him. So it's a little hard to get a sense for him as a character or a sympathetic villain, really.
Yeah. I've seen Sean Yue in several things in the past. He's a good actor. Here, he's given one note throughout the whole movie. Look like you don't care about anything, and stare off into the distance with one eye slightly smaller than the other. That's basically his entire character. And ultimately, this whole movie comes down to them, all the villains, wanting to get gold. And I know they set it up earlier in the movie, but I really didn't realize that, like, oh, that's as simple as the story gets. Like, it doesn't get any more complicated than that. It's just them hunting or stopping the villains from getting gold. At the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah,
They're pirates.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess they are pirates. Man, that last action set piece is so ridiculous. And okay, that's my segue into talking about the action. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the action movie. I think I was just so disengaged by the story, and maybe the pacing's not my issue. I just wasn't into the story at all. I found myself really not lost, but uninterested. That by the time we got to the action, I was like, all right, well, this better be good. And it's good for the most part. I mean, it's definitely a lot better than what we've been watching lately. I feel like we've been watching a lot of trash. Yeah, and it's Max Shang.
What are you talking about? You didn't like the action in Iceman?
God, that was several weeks ago, and it's still burned into my retina. Yeah. Well, at least Max Zhang's not peeing a giant fire hose worth of water in this movie, because that'd be appropriate because of all the water in the film. All right. With that said, let's just talk about the action. Oh God, I can't say that I dislike the action, but the story definitely was so distractingly uninteresting for me that by the time we got to the action, I was just craving something good, and it wasn't so transcendently good that it kind of made up for the film. But I will say it's it has Max Zhang in it, so you really can't do too wrong with that, like unless you're talking about Invincible Dragon. But with the exception of that, he knows how to hit his mark. He's really incredibly talented on screen, and we have Wu Yue, who is also only in really 2 fight scenes in the movie, and you wouldn't know that for a while. You'd think that he was just in the one. Yeah, so I was like, all right, it's just gonna be Max Zhang, and Sean Yue is not a martial artist from what I can tell. Instead, he has this little tiny mini harpoon.
I like that. The pen gun. It's I'm most certain they're trying to do No Country for Old Men's like little air thing. Yeah. The cattle gun that the guy carries around. They're trying to do something with that because he kind of just like holds it up to the guy's like face at one point.
Yeah. But I don't know. Zero, what are your thoughts on the action?
So it's not bad. Like you said, anything with Max Zhang, he is a very capable performer, and I think in the right hands he can have some really good fight scenes. Here, I wasn't crazy about some of the choices when it came to slow motion, because they do a lot of these slow motion shots to kind of really make clear certain movements that are going on before it starts to get into some choreography. So the pacing of some of the fights feels a little different from what I normally like.
Yep.
In terms of direction, though, because of these slow scenes where there are kind of these explanation shots like, oh, hey, we're going to go for a kick or an over the hand downward swipe with my knife, like that's very clear because we're going slower. And so, you can kind of understand the fight scenes. Mm-hmm. But I just wasn't, I don't know, like it was good in some moments, and then it wasn't because the pacing was just kind of off for me in others.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. There are definitely some moments where I was very impressed by the film, but for the most part, I wasn't too enthralled with the fights either. Yeah, like the more I think about it, like especially the last fight, it's just so ridiculous for multiple reasons.
So I want to say with the last fight, and we can kind of set it up without spoiling it, I guess, but it is on a ship that is in the ocean during a typhoon. And yes, there's CGI involved, but it's not the worst. It's actually not that bad because it's very dark and it's all happening at night. But they are on a real boat that is in a real, I'm guessing, like backlot studio tank that is simulating waves.
Yeah.
And so the difficulty of having a fight scene on an imbalanced, constantly moving surface was probably extremely difficult. And I can understand the need to edit and constantly do these insert shots or do these slow motion shots, because man, the actors in this final action scene are getting thrown all over the place. It's impressive. I don't like how it was all put together, but I can admire it all under the situation that they're filming under.
Yeah, but there's probably a reason why people don't film entire action sequences in water, because a lot can go wrong. It's very unpredictable. And there's a scene on a boat, in a very unpredictable environment, like you were mentioning, that is, like that there's a lot of water just splashing all around. Sometimes that just obscures what you're seeing, and sometimes it does a good balance where you can still make out what's going on, which I give the movie kudos to, that they're able to accomplish all that, right? But sometimes it's still too much. It's like, wow, there's literally just a splash. I can see the extras in the back, just like the production hands, just like with bucketfuls of water, just like throwing it at the screen, and it's like, oh my god.
I don't even think it was probably extras, because there are like huge water splashes coming on that were probably generated by the boat itself just bobbing around in this set, in this real water set.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's probably what actually happened. But I can just feel like like a stagehand just like throwing water. It's a ridiculous amount of water, and I mean, it's fine. It's unique because there's just ongoing martial arts choreography happening on screen as this is all happening. It's edited a little much, but probably appropriate because of like how much is going on. I think I'm straddling in the line between liking and disliking the underwater fight. Yeah, because if you guys heard me talk about Top Secret before, is that, did I mention this before?
Yeah, so Wolf Warrior 2 probably has the most clear underwater choreography that I have seen, where it is trying to be a fight scene with multiple chains of combinations going.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be hard to top, especially with that mainland Chinese budget, because the first one did so well. Here it's admirable again, and the clarity works for the environment because they're supposed to be at the bottom of the bottom of the ocean at this point, so it's very murky, it's very dirty, and I would say it's more of a struggle than a fight
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah,
Because you have
that's exactly
multiple
it.
characters who are really underwater. Again, I have to praise it for that because it's, they're not CGIing anything, at least to my knowledge. There's really people in the scuba gear, with the heavy diving tanks, and they're just struggling underwater in this kind of, I don't know, skeleton of a sunken house or something, right? Just the bare bones of it.
Yeah.
And they're using various things to choke each other out, to bash each other over the head, and they're then using their air tanks to propel them like rockets. It's kind of silly, but it's also kind of impressive because it's just all really underwater.
Yeah. Again, I'm straddling that line between being impressed by it and not, because I didn't like Wolf Warrior 2 either, but that opening scene is so well done, and there's like this frenetic energy. The camera's moving well, like the key performers are moving well, like fast. It's constant energy, and here, like, it feels like, they're, like you're saying, they're tussling on the water, and like there's intensity, but it doesn't feel like choreography, or it doesn't seem very cinematic.
I would say there's no choreography in the sense that we like in terms of fight choreography. There's choreography in that, like, all right, well, I'm gonna choke you. You're gonna like roll around. Understand that my hand is gonna go around your neck. Don't try to fight back or like inadvertently hit me too hard.
Yeah.
And then visually, it's just like they're really underwater, so the lighting they got or what they had to work with is just what they have. So there's limitations in what they can visually show us.
Yeah. No, I get that. See, like, again, somewhere in between, and I guess we'll go into greater detail when we actually get to that, that actual fight scene. Oh, I guess we're a little over time here. I guess I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say before we go greater into the details of the movie? Because I'm sure I have lots to complain about.
No, so we can go into it. So if you want to hear the rest of this discussion where I try to be positive while Will is combating me on the negative side, then you might want to consider subscribing to us on Patreon, because there you can get the additional probably an hour, usually an hour, of talking that we're going to do about this movie. And if you subscribe to higher tiers, you could get extra episodes like Code of the Assassins. I don't remember what that movie is.
A lot of gadgetry. It reminds me of Waterworld. Everything's water. Like, we remember Waterworld, where there's like just a lot of shit just always opening up. It's like a lot of gadgetry in that movie.
Oh, kind of like steampunk-esque?
Yeah. But like, you spend so much time. We're talking about that movie too much. Go watch that episode. Subscribe to us on Patreon. I just have water on the mind for some reason. So, let's talk about The Brink. Yeah, and that's The Brink. That is The Brink.
Yep.
Very awkward, but yeah. We kind of sped through this one. There aren't that many fights in the movie, though, right?
Not that many. Just a few. The last, I mean, there are bigger fights, I guess you could say, especially with the last one. It's just a major set piece on this crazy boat that is just careening. No, not even careening. It is bobbing all over the place because it is in a typhoon. It's a great visual. I wish I could have got into the choreography a little more, but I'm very forgiving because of the aspects that went around filming it.
Yeah. No, I objectively, I believe that's a saving grace for the movie. From a technical standpoint, we all know it's very hard to work with that volume of water on a very unstable surface. However, it still holds true, in my opinion, that there's a reason why you don't do this. It's very hard to make out what's going on. At least for me, the final fight was like really hard for me to zone in on. I found myself like, oh my god, there's so much fucking water. Whereas the rest of the movie, I don't know. I thought the action was okay, I guess. Wasn't anything superb. Didn't like the story at all. But again, that's more my opinion. I know, like you definitely seem more engaged with the story than I was.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just really paying attention to a lot of the little details in it. And then Max Zhang being this fucking wildly over the top, aggressive, unstoppable force who just fucking didn't care about anything. I don't know. I just was so drawn to it for some reason. I feel like I haven't seen a hard-boiled cop film in a while, so maybe I was just kind of hankering for something like that, and I think this fit the bill for me at least. And then the themes of water, and then the ideas of religion maybe giving you some sort of aid during fights and during a typhoon, like that really interests me as well, because in all the Hong Kong movies we've watched, like I never see anything about religion, so the fact that this was subtly in there just piqued my interest.
Okay. Wow, I just realized I haven't asked this question in a very long time on our show, but do you recommend the movie as a whole, or would you just would you recommend the fight scenes in the movie?
Not really. The fights are just okay. And then if you were just going to watch the final fight, you would think, okay, yeah, like from a technical aspect, that's impressive because they're really doing it on a boat in some sort of, controlled but uncontrolled, water backlot. But I don't think watching it by itself is really worth it. I think the story is kind of interesting. Like if you heard the things I've been saying now about it and that piqued your interest, then I would say, yeah, check it out. But otherwise, there are many weird aspects that I don't feel are properly explained, like the demolitions expert that is on the side of Sean Yue. Like she has no name, and their relationship is so just weird. They try to do flashbacks.
She's love interest.
She's not even love interest. No, I don't think so.
She's into him, I think, or she's very loyal to him.
She's loyal to him. Yes. I don't think she's a love interest though. Like, yeah, their relationship not well explained. Everyone else I think is fine. So yeah, I kind of recommend it. I enjoyed it both times, and I thought the pacing was really good until like towards the end when things kind of slow down, and then we slowly get to the final action piece.
Okay, I obviously am coming from a different angle. I didn't hate the movie, but I found the story very unengaging. But that's just me. I watched them 2 separate occasions, and both times I was like, I don't think it's like a mood thing. It was just not to my liking.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I think you said it during the Patreon, and I won't go too in depth because that's what the Patreon's for. But I am very curious to see the making of for some of the action in the movie, especially anything involving water. I think that piques my interest more than the actual final product, like how they're able to do some of these things. Not to say like that fixes or makes me appreciate the final product more, but I actually want to know like how they were able to accomplish some of these things, and how were they able to create these storms in the ocean, Zero? Like, is that even possible? With using practical effects?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you saw what's the movie with the tiger in the boat?
Oh, Life of Pi?
Yeah, they kind of did it with that movie, right? Yeah, I think they literally just have a giant swimming pool, and they just kind of bob the shit out of the water, and eventually it goes out of control.
Oh, that's all it is. It's just a giant swimming pool.
Yeah, it's just a giant swimming pool, and somebody is just making waves, and things are going all over the place. Yeah,
and that tiger really was not having it.